Hey guys, welcome back to my 9th video for Money May Scouts. Today we're going to be breaking down a film on the Alabama sophomore, Labaron Philon. Philon is a 20-year-old from Mobile, Alabama. He decided to withdraw his name from the NBA draft back in May and come back to Alabama. He has since been off to a strong start, averaging these numbers so far this season. Let's dive into Philon's strengths. He is a crafty, score-first guard capable of scoring at all three levels. He utilizes ball screens at a high rate, and his ability to score out of ball screens is the first strength of his that I would like to discuss. Philon does a great job of getting downhill off this ball screen. He gets his man on his hip, then splits between them and the big to finish the easy lay. Philon's original plan was to use the screen, but he saw his man was overcommitting early and quickly rejects it. He utilizes a great hezzy to keep his man on his heels, bumps to not only cut him off, but to keep the ball away from the help defender, and then finally uses one more ball fake to shift the Gonzaga big before laying it in. Philon effectively puts his defender in jail, immediately getting and keeping him on his hip until the big clears the lane for him and he has an easy finish. Here he dribbles at his teammate to initiate the ball screen, forces a switch with the big, keeps him on his side, and then slithers past him for the right-hand finish. The second strength of Philon's is his ability to playmake out of ball screens. Here he does a great job sealing his man from having an angle to cut him off. He then gets a paint touch and sprays out the hallway on the wing for three. Philon does a fantastic job creating out of the ball screen, making the perfect pass to his teammate for a layup around the back of the big who is dropping. This was great awareness by Philon. He recognizes that he drew two off the screen and that someone has to be open. He sees how far over EK is rotated and makes the cross-court skip pass to find his teammate open for three. After drawing two on the ball screen, he does a great job getting downhill and finding the angle to get the pass through to the roller before the help can get to it. Philon is also a strong playmaker in general without the use of a ball screen. Here Philon shows left before dropping his body and shifting right on the cross. When the help comes over, he makes a great dump-off pass for the assist. Here Philon shot fakes to bring his man out, drives by, draws the big from help side and delivers a nice no-look dump-off pass for the touch shot. This may appear like a simple pass, but what's impressive is that Philon is reading the defense before he even has the ball in his hands. He knows the roller will be open and delivers the pass right away for the assist. Philon often loves to push the pace after a made basket before the defense is set. Here he does a great job recognizing after the bump that he had nothing at the rim and then delivering the pass to his teammate in the corner for a good look. Philon does a great job changing paces, starting slow, then accelerating to reject the screen and get downhill. He's smart to not force the shot when the help comes and makes a great pass to the corner for a good look from three. Philon is also a very talented finisher around the rim, jumping nearly 15% higher in his efficiency from last season so far. Here Philon does a nice job getting downhill after his teammate slips and finishing over the big rotating from help side. Here he does well coming off the off-ball screen tight, slipping around the help and finding the right angle to tuck the shot in before the big could get to it. This is a great take by Philon in transition. He utilizes the slow step and a slight bump effectively to generate the space needed on the big for the layup. Philon displays great patience on this play. After getting into the paint, he waits for Huff to leave him, and then he knows he has the one-on-one look, turning over his shoulder middle to lay it in. The next layer to Philon's scoring is his floater. He has really good touch on these type of shots. Here Philon attacks the zone, Euro stepping into the paint and rising over the Illinois defender to hit the clutch floater. Here Philon splits his man in the big off the ball screen, drawing the switch, getting the big to jump, and then stepping through for the bucket. This is a great job by Philon, changing levels to help accelerate past his man. He then feels the bump from his matchup and rises up to hit the and-one floater. On this play, Philon gets the switch with the Arizona big, drives quickly, initiates the bump, rises up, and finishes the shot on what should have been an and-one against the help defender. Philon is also capable at scoring in the mid-range. This play was a pro move, posting his man up, then spinning over his right shoulder into a fader, which finds its way in. Philon gets the switch on the possession with EK. He drives middle, fakes a spin to the right, and then fades at the free throw line for the tough bucket. Philon displays impressive concentration on this possession. The play starts with him coming off the DHO, he gets his man on his hip, and when his man tries to get back in front, Philon spins, rises up, and draws the contact for the and-one. Here, Philon does well after getting downhill of using the punch dribble to create space and rise up to knock down the midi. The next strength of Philon's is his ability to knock down, catch, and shoot threes. From his freshman to sophomore year, he has gone from shooting 31% to 42% from three. His ability to knock down threes in a variety of ways has arguably been the biggest improvement in his game. On his first play, we see him run and knock one down in transition. Next, Philon showcases his ability to step in and connect from deep off a kickout. Here we see Philon knock down a three after trailing the play. Lastly, the most impressive three from these clips was this one, as Philon displays good timing and balance to get open and knock down the three off the flare screen. The last strength of Philon's to discuss is his ability to hit threes off the dribble. The major aspect I appreciate from Philon and his looks off the dribble is that make or miss, he is showing consistency in the balance and timing of his attempts. This is crucial to being a good shooter and a testament to his growth in this area of his game. I expect to see Philon continue to be an effective shooter from deep as the season continues to progress. Now let's move on to the development areas for Philon. Philon is obviously a talented player offensively, but there are several different issues that stood out to me with him defensively amongst other areas. The first of which I would like to talk about is his ability to guard ball screens. On this play, Philon is bumped and elects to go under on the first screen. He then runs right into the Purdue big on the second screen. He has to make a decision to get over or under on the screen, yet there's no real urgency to do either, and Smith gets wide open for a pull-up midi. Here, Philon gets shook off by Smith after trying to press up. He then runs right into the Purdue big as he rolls. When he tries to get back into the play, Smith generates a lot of space on him with a combo of crosses leading to an open pull-up three. This is a very undisciplined play by Philon as he levels the screener instead of trying to get over, making it an easy call for the refs to make. Philon overplays the handoff defensively, making it an easy choice for his man to rip back left. He gets Philon on his hip and draws the contact for the and one with continuation rules. There's no real effort from Philon to get over this screen. He's given a lot of room to do so, yet opts to run into the screener. Luckily, he has good help that comes to rip the ball for the steal. The next development area for Philon is with his ball watching. On more than a handful of times from the games that I watched, Philon fell into the habit of watching the ball and losing track of his man and where he is supposed to be. Here, Philon puts all his focus on the ball after his matchup delivers the post entry. His man cuts behind him, receives the pass, and draws the foul. On the very first possession of the game, Philon watches the shot and loses track of Boswell. Boswell runs right past him, falling to miss for the easy tip-in. Here, Philon is so keyed in on the ball that he doesn't recognize his man setting a hammer screen on his teammate, leading to a wide open three for Gonzaga. On this one, Philon falls asleep watching the ball, and his man finds himself wide open for three, which he fortunately doesn't knock down. One of the most glaring issues with Philon is a lack of consistent effort defensively. Let's start with the bad from him. At this moment, Philon is playing with 4 fouls. However, he can't get beat this easily downhill. The bucket cuts it right back to a one-score game. This was a poor sequence defensively for Philon. He's late to the catch, flies by on the pump fake, and can't get back into the play. Arizona ends up getting fouled. Philon was very out of sorts on this possession. He originally lines up for the charge, which would have been a good take, but he moves himself out of the way, not wanting to contact. He then is late to rotate out to the corner and gets blown by, leading to a midi bucket. What's frustrating with Philon is I really do think he has the capability to guard consistently with his length and athleticism, he just takes plays off sometimes. Here, Philon does a good job fighting to get back into the play after the ball screen. He cuts Smith off and uses his length to block his shot on the attempted fader. This was an example of great on-ball defense by Philon despite the made basket. He gets Stojakovic to retreat, then is with him on every move, sliding his feet well and forcing him to take a tough shot. This was great recognition from Philon to rotate over as he sees the ball handler setting up the spin his way. Philon's there right when he exposes the ball and rips it clean. The next development area for Philon is with his communication defensively. Here's an example of a lack thereof. They were switching these actions all game, but Philon decides to stay with his man, leading to Smith coming off the screen wide open and connecting. There needs to be talk here in the two-man action. Philon thought they were switching, the big did not, and Gonzaga hits the open three. Philon needs to communicate clearly what to do on the screen. It's his man setting it, and he obviously wants to switch, but his teammate doesn't realize that, so they both stick to EK, and Philon's man finds himself wide open for three and knocks it down. Philon needs to communicate with his teammates on his matchup in transition. He is unable to identify where to match up, and Burries makes a wide open three. The fifth development area for Philon is with his defensive rebounding. Philon does a good job closing out, but watches the shot instead of putting a body on him, leading to his man grabbing his own miss. Philon runs to secure the board instead of putting a body on his man first. The ball doesn't bounce the way Philon expects it to, and it gets tipped out to where he should have been. Philon needs to locate his man and box him out. Instead, he runs towards the rim, the shot misses long, and his matchup helps tip the ball out to get the offensive rebound. Moving on to the offensive development areas, Philon needs to limit his careless turnovers. Here, Philon drives himself into a crowd, causing him to lose the ball. Philon gets sped up by the pressure off this ball screen, throwing the pass prematurely and going directly into the hands of Huff. If Philon is going to come get this handoff in the corner, it's either got to be a shot or a quick decision to rip back middle. There's not enough room to play with his dribble. This leads to a turnover. Philon falls into a routine habit pass trying to get it out to a teammate. It's way too casual of a pass and is easily intercepted. The last development area to discuss for Philon is with his lob passing, both decision-making and execution-wise. This was a poor decision by Philon to throw the lob pass off the ball screen. He needs to read the help side guy, Fletcher Lawyer, and swing it to the opposite corner. This was just a bad lob by Philon coming off the ball screen. If he places the ball better, that's an easy dunk. Instead, his teammate has to land and try to convert over to big. This was a poor idea to throw the lob with so much traffic in the paint. The ball has to be swung elsewhere. Moving on to the final segment of the video, let's look into how Philon's game will translate to the NBA. While I just lamented on Philon on the defensive end, I do think a lot of those issues can be solved with effort and that he does have the potential to be a solid defender. Philon's advanced ability to operate out of ball screens as well as his capacity to score efficiently at all 3 levels will encourage teams to select him. So for what teams might it make the most sense for to pick Labaron Philon? The first team I could see taking Philon is Milwaukee. Ryan Rollins has had a good season so far for them, but they could definitely benefit from adding someone as dynamic in ball screens as Philon is. I don't know if Giannis will be there next year, but if he is, that would be quite the pairing for Philon in the two-man game. The second team I could see being a good fit for Philon are the Grizzlies. Ja has consistently dealt with injuries amongst other issues, and his future there is very uncertain. Philon could be the next dynamic point guard in Memphis. The last team I could see being a strong fit for Philon are the Raptors. They obviously have Emmanuel Quickley, who is a solid player, don't get me wrong, but I think Philon's ceiling is higher than where Quickley is currently at, or will be. At the very least, Philon can be a solid backup point guard there under Quickley the first year or two. That's all I got on Labaron and Philon. If you made it to this point, thank you for watching my 9th scouting video. I look forward to working on my next breakdown soon.